Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
How hackers tried to save football.
Just want to watch your team play. But somehow, watching football in 2025 feels like solving a Rubik's Cube with your wallet. You've got your Sky login on the TV, TNT app on your phone, Amazon Prime on the tablet, and somehow your team's still not on. In the UK, you need 3 separate subscriptions just to follow one league, and pay twice as much as a decade ago. So fans
how
became
did you
pirates.
watch it
Fire sticks,
in
Reddit links,
Lithuania?
Discord streams. You know the drill.
Back then, long time ago, I just watch whatever's on TV. Yeah, I wouldn't stream live sports.
For us here, they also have like the special matches on the cable, but if you watch it in the Spanish channels, you can watch it
It's
for
free.
free.
Yeah.
But you just don't understand.
No, we had most of this stuff for free on TV.
Mhm.
Yeah, but nowadays, I guess things change. Apparently, I don't know.
We don't, we just read about it. Illegal streaming has exploded. Not just in shady corners of the internet. There are even chants about it in the stadiums. And the entire football industry is freaking out. It's the biggest challenge in the world of football and the sports industry in general. So this isn't just a story about piracy. It's about the broken economics of modern football. How we got here. And what happened.
This is such a tough spot to be in because essentially, the thing about sports and sport like football kind of unites everyone because it's very low entry sport. So, if you take a sport like low entry, but I mean like low barrier.
Mhm.
If you take tennis, it's kind of like a rich, or not maybe not rich, but affluent people sport because you need to buy
Mhm.
the rackets, the small,
Mhm.
the ball, like a lot of shit you have to buy for tennis. Then you have to rent the court. You can't just with football, just buy a ball and you go kick it wherever. You can make the goalpost out of anything. We would
Mhm.
use bricks, wood, sticks, whatever, so
Mhm.
trees. You don't need any cost to, like, the only cost is the ball, but the ball can last like years.
Mhm.
So it's like, and people that are fans of the sport are not necessarily the rich either. So
Mhm.
it
Soccer is not a rich sport.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like a low financial barrier for entry. Anybody can play. There
Mhm.
really isn't monetary requirement to enter, whereas some sports there is, like tennis, golf, baseball. You need a bat, gloves, more stuff. So it should be free for everyone to watch. But on the other hand, though, the players got to make money.
Mhm.
How do they money if people watch it for free? Who pays them? Essentially, the people pay them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's a very
Is the
stuff.
is the pay significantly different from, here in the States, and also what they make in ads over there too? Like if they get a sponsorship?
So well, they do ads, of course, but you can't do ads the American way because, well, it's 45 minute a half. You can't just stop play. Oh, let's run a commercial break. Like here
Mm,
in the basketball, for example, or in American football, it's whatever. Timeout, ads.
mm-hmm.
Then you can add commercial breakers. Like, why not? It's commercial timeout. In football, there's no timeouts. It's just
Mm,
45 minutes straight. That's it. Nowadays, they started doing this little like water breaks, especially when it gets hot in summertime. So maybe like in that water break, you could squeeze in an ad if
mm,
you really wanted to. But yeah, like ad revenue is just not going to be as high as sports here in the States because the sport itself doesn't allow for it. So it's a little hard. So, I guess they have to charge people to watch it, which
mm.
makes sense, but it's also unfortunate for the fans.
Happens when fans, rights holders, and tech platforms
And
go
the
to
fans,
war.
they pay for like
Welcome
the
to
jerseys.
Yeah, but I feel like if a fan can afford a jersey, then they can afford to pay for this.
Yeah, but they buy the jersey, also the cards,
Yeah.
the official ball.
Yeah, like if fans can afford all that, then they can afford to pay for subscription. This is more we're talking about low income fans that don't really do that stuff. Because
Oh.
to be a fan, you don't have to buy no gear. You can be a fan, and if you can't afford to buy a jersey, you don't buy a jersey. Like that doesn't mean,
Mm.
oh, the only way you're a fan if you bought something. No.
Would you say it's also the same people who go to the pubs? If they don't pay for it, you can go to the
Oh,
pubs to
that's an
watch.
alternative. Yeah, you go to a pub to watch because you don't
Yeah.
have the. Okay, yeah, that's an alternative. Yeah.
athletic interest. So what happened that we need a spreadsheet to watch football nowadays? To understand, we have to start with one word. Copyright. At its core, copyright is simple. It gives creators exclusive control over their work. If you make something, a book, a song, or a football broadcast, you get to decide who can copy it, distribute it, and profit from it. That's the idea. And for a long time, it was relatively simple to control it. Before Gutenberg, copying a book meant handwriting every word. It was expensive, slow, and limited to elites. Copyright wasn't really an issue, because copying wasn't easy. But once the printing press arrived, suddenly ideas could scale. You could print hundreds of copies, fast, cheap, identical. This freaked out the people in power, like kings and the church, because they no longer controlled who read what. So what did? They invented licensing, publishing monopolies, early versions of censorship and copyright to control the copy machine. Fast forward to today, the internet is like the printing press, on steroids. But now we're not just copying books. Suddenly, every fan with a Wi-Fi connection has access to what is basically a magical copying machine. You click once, and you've cloned a perfect stream in HD in seconds. No quality loss, no physical media, no shipping cost. And no matter how many lawyers or firewalls you throw at it, you can't uninvent the tech. While movies, music, and books all had to adapt, football and basically any live sport is different because of life value. A football match isn't a song you replay forever. It's 90 minutes that lose most of their value the moment the whistle blows. Once the game is over, the stream is worthless. That makes the protection of those streams in real time extremely valuable and extremely difficult. Broadcasters pay billions for that live window. If someone watches it for free, that value
Like,
evaporates. and
okay, so like with NBA, they're very strict of like you playing the games online.
Right, same thing. Streaming. They don't want people, you know, pirating. They want you to pay to watch whatever is either it's League Pass or to buy, you know, cable services or ESPN Plus, you know, wherever they stream it on.
So is
Yeah.
it more strict in soccer than it is in basketball?
We're about to find out. I would think it's about the same.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't see any difference. Why it would be any different?
You could argue that we wouldn't have such a high-quality broadcast with HD and super slow-mo cameras if there wasn't so much money in the market to produce it that way.
That is true, right? Somebody has to fund it, and it's the fans.
So yeah, this is about copyright, but it's also about money and control. And in the age of digital abundance, football rights holders are fighting to keep that control. But they are up against a very powerful opponent. Because the fans are furious. If you live in the UK, you need 3 separate subscriptions to follow just one league, and it still won't give you all the games. In Germany, this
I don't understand.
That-
you need
That's the fucked up part. That kind of we watched the video about streaming. Remember when we were saying, okay, you need like 5-6 streaming services to kind of get everything. It's annoying. So I
for
think
all the games?
right. So what I think the way they licensed it is that each streaming platform kind of has X amount of games to stream. So you kind of have to have multiple to stream all the games, which is fucked up. Like here in the States also, NBA for example, certain games are on TNT. So if you want to watch it, you either need TNT or HBO Max. On HBO Max they have the contract with TNT. Or other games are on ESPN. If you want to watch those, you have to buy ESPN.
What's the difference in those games?
Tuesday, Thursday is TNT, other days are ESPN. And some games are not even shown on TV, so you need NBA League Pass to watch those games. So it's the same here actually. If you wanted to watch every single NBA game, you would need to buy
But
prescriptions
is that what the customer do in general? Do they need to buy it all to
if
watch?
you want to watch every single game.
But is that like
yes.
typical? Or do you just watch your favorite player?
Well,
like, team?
Yeah, nobody watching every single game because it can be like 10 games at night. 10 games a night, so you know,
so you have
so
to pick.
realistically in like a 5-hour frame there can be
Yeah.
10 games, so nobody's watching the 10 games. So people mostly watch their team plus maybe some marquee matchups. That's it.
And they don't end up being free like the next day or like
Not really, but it's kind of worthless. Who the fuck want to watch the game when you already know the score?
you watch the highlights, like you see
You
those
can
guys.
highlights are on
So
YouTube.
okay, so the guys who do the talking at night, they talk about all the games, right? So you kind of see in essence.
They talk about all the games. Yeah, for the most part they talk about all
Well,
the games.
that's how you can
Right, yeah.
get a feel.
But you don't get to watch the whole game though.
Oh,
DAZN more than doubled its monthly price in just 2 years. In Italy, fans protested price hikes by boycotting the platform altogether. And in France, so many fans boycotted DAZN that the company stopped paying the league, arguing that illegal streaming is killing their business model. The fans are tired of the fragmentation and the prices, so they look elsewhere. Fans adapt, and creators need to adapt too. But just like watching your favorite team's next match without spending a fortune, keeping up in a constantly changing online world isn't easy. That's why you need smart tools. Legal smart tools. And that's where the sponsor of today's video, Ahrefs, comes in your several paid features by automated.
Really? They're advertising Ahrefs?
What's that?
It's for SEO, search engine optimization.
Oh.
Like, who's watching this gonna do that? That's random commercial.
You see shirts in the pubs and hear it from the stands, loudly enough for Sky's microphones to pick it up. And that sort of movement is what makes this so
That piracy is the answer. That's the video we reacted to.
interesting and threatening to the corporations and people running the show. It's a signal that something in football's media model isn't working anymore. So the football industry is trying to fix it, or at least to fight back. While fans click links, rights holders call their lawyers. There is a whole industry built just to protect content: digital rights management. For example, the software that locks each stream behind encryption. Think of it like a digital bouncer checking if you're allowed in. Then there's watermarking, where each legal stream is tagged with invisible or sometimes also visible data like a fingerprint. If it gets leaked, they can trace it back to the source. If a leak is detected, the next layer kicks in: the takedown teams. Regulators like Arcom in France now have the power to block pirated football streams in real time. A domain can be blacklisted minutes
Wow.
after kickoff. UEFA is working with Meta to scan Facebook and Instagram for illegal content. And Sky has called on Amazon to crack down on jailbroken Fire Sticks, accusing them of helping piracy spread. But the biggest hammer
that
is legal enforcement.
easy to detect a jailbroken Fire Stick?
I would think if Amazon wanted to, they could detect it. They have access to, because obviously the Fire Stick's connected to the internet.
What does it mean for it to be jailbroken?
The
Like what happens in the system?
the code is changed so it allows unofficial apps to be installed.
Is it like how Netflix can know when you're outside the home?
Not
Someone's
it's
using
it's
this
not it's
account?
not that. It's like how on iPhone you can only
Yeah.
install apps from Apple Store.
Yes.
So if you jailbroke it, then that would allow you to install apps from down just anywhere. Like you could plug in USB stick to your iPhone and install an app from there.
Oh.
But that you can't do that because it's only from App Store. So
Mm.
jailbreaking it kind of overrides the settings where it allows you to install third-party apps that are not official, which is dangerous because that's how malware enters, viruses and whatnot. But the reward is you can do illegal shit. So it's like risk reward what you want to do.
Enforcement. In the UK, 5 men were sentenced to a combined 30 years in prison for running an illegal streaming service called Flawless. It had thousands of subscribers, its own branding, even customer support, so many fans didn't even realize they were subscribing to something illegal. And it generated millions.
Wow.
This wasn't just fans sharing a link. In the background, there is a whole ecosystem of companies focused on detecting, reporting, and shutting this stuff down. Content protection firms work with broadcasters to monitor every broadcast minute. They scan forums, track down leaks, and try to keep up with the moving target. But for every stream
That's
that gets
an
shut down,
interesting team
another
that they
one
have working to do all this.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
pops up. It's a cat and mouse game, and it never really ends. Because copyright laws
It
vary
must
from
be like a
country to
bonus if you catch if you catch someone.
I don't know. There's
Like
a
it's like a
bonus.
hunting. Like
Yeah,
they say,
it's
hunt.
hunting. It's kind of hunting. It's cat and mouse, basically. Yeah.
country, well, the internet doesn't care about borders. And that's the point. A lot of the time, these streams don't come from hobbyists in their bedrooms. It's something bigger. In some cases, it's organized crime. The men behind the Flawless operation had 30 employees. One of them working undercover at an anti-piracy company. They made more than 7 million euros in just a few years. And while Flawless simply charged money for access, many illegal streams are just a gateway, used to drive traffic to betting sites, gambling apps, or other businesses tied to organized crime. Let's be clear, this isn't some romantic Robin Hood story. It's a serious crime, often linked to networks that have nothing to do with football. And
I wonder
shutting
how
that
they caught
down,
him.
absolutely necessary. But that's not what most fans are doing. When a student clicks a
I mean, you can see the originating where the videos originate from.
Mm.
I'm I was him, I'd probably have it in like a third country that doesn't have any extradition, so you wouldn't be able to easily trace it. But when you do that, there's always paperwork. Maybe they left a crumb somewhere, and they followed up on it.
Telegram
Wow.
link on a Saturday afternoon. They are not trying to fund the mafia. They are just trying to watch their team without taking out a loan. It's a reaction to a system that feels broken. For
Do you
years,
get in trouble
broadcasters
too if you
overpaid.
pay for such services?
I don't think so, but that's not fair. You paid. You thought it was legal. Prove it that I didn't know it was illegal.
For football rights and passed the cost down to fans. But in most cases, no one made a profit. They just kept overpaying, finding new investors or ways to cross-finance it. Then the internet changed the rules. In a world where creators sell memberships directly through YouTube or Twitch, the middleman looks outdated. So maybe the future isn't about fighting piracy harder. Maybe it's about rebuilding the product. Lower prices, simpler access. Because if rights holders don't adapt, the value of football media rights will keep declining. Not just because of piracy, but because fans will stop paying. Look at what's already happening. FIFA struggled for months to sell the Club World Cup rights.
They look like
Then
Jeff
they finally found a
Bezos.
buyer in the zone who will stream the tournament for free. How? Reportedly, with a little help from Saudi money. The zone paid $1 billion for those rights, just after Saudi Arabia invested the same amount into the zone. So again, this isn't about selling subscriptions and ad slots. It's about power and control. And it's proof that the old model is under pressure. Yes, piracy is illegal. And yes, it's a real threat to the business of football. But let's be honest, the business of football isn't exactly struggling. Transfer fees are still insane, executives still fly private, and somehow every other deal still includes crypto or blockchain. Illegal streaming didn't appear out of nowhere. It's a symptom of a broken system. And if the industry doesn't fix it, the pirates will keep
I don't
sailing.
know. I don't know how they can fix that.
Well, how you fix it is very simple. Make a low priced one cost, one price, all games subscription. So make something that's $10 a month, and you get all the games. You don't need the 3 services.
But who's gonna host it?
Figure it out. But that's the simple model. Like, I think most fans would not have a problem paying $10 if they can access every single game.
Maybe if they secure like maybe a 20-year deal with one company who's willing to pay a specific
I don't
amount
know
to have all the
how you
clients.
do it, but
But I don't know if it's illegal. Maybe it's a monopoly. I don't know. I don't know.
well, it's not a monopoly because in every country there is, and these entities are not associated, so it's not really a monopoly. It's just the issue is the same every, and $10 is arbitrary number. Maybe
So
maybe
could you
maybe
subscribe?
$5. I don't
Could
know.
you subscribe to watch a game that a service that's from another country in your hosting country?
You should be able to if I'm living in Germany
Uh-huh.
and I want to watch Premier League in the UK, why not?
Uh-huh.
What? Oh, because you're in Germany, that's stupid. That's just throwing money away. Why not allow
So that's
them?
why they say you need to have VPN to have access to watch these things.
Maybe, but I don't think that's the right way.
Can I see the comments?
They say that piracy kills football, but it doesn't. People used to play football before pay TVs and streaming services. Piracy only kills the circles built around the sport. But that's what kind of was alluding in the intro, that you know you need the money to pay the players. So it's because the salaries have grown a lot since then, and you know Spotify stopped a generation of music by offering an affordable alternative. Until football is an affordable functioning platform, piracy still continue. Yeah, I think so. That kind of what I just said. Yeah, they need the low cost and one encompass all. So low cost, whatever is low cost in that particular country. I don't know. In the UK, £5, £10, but not the £30. It's £30 is way too much. £30 a month just to watch sport, no. But like £10, maybe if it's that too much, £5, I don't know. But something that everybody not everybody, like majority of the fans could afford to pay. That will fix the problem.
What if you have like a club and you invite people over and they can watch for a nominal fee?
What do you mean?
You host a party, so you are known to host football watch parties. You can watch all the games.
But that's
in
just
my
a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and the bar pays for
That's
that.
why I think there is an alternative to kind of watch the game in a more affordable way.
Yeah, but introverts don't like going to bars. Plus,
Oh.
is it really affordable? Because you have to buy food, you have to buy drinks, so it ends up spending more.
Oh. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye.